Hello everyone, welcome to today's webinar, how JAZEL's RealSearch is helping car shoppers find what they want. We'll go over what RealSearch is, how it's helping car shoppers, and some of the results we've seen from our clients' websites. But first, introductions. So this webinar is brought to you by JAZEL Auto. JAZEL has been building industry-leading dealership websites since 2003, leading the game with insight, innovation, and operational excellence. JAZEL's vision is to build websites that car shoppers love.
Everyone loves.
That everyone loves, but specifically car shoppers in this instance. My name is Brittany Ramos. I have 10 years of experience in the automotive website space, and I really geek out on this stuff. So thank you guys for joining us today. We have chat, an engaging poll question, and a super helpful PDF of this presentation. It is my pleasure to introduce our presenter, Tim Leibel. Tim, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thanks, Brittany. Tim here, 10 plus years in automotive industry as well. 4 years specifically in the website side of it. Also years in CRM and DMS, and as well as 3 weeks, 4 weeks or so selling actual vehicles in Northern California. So very well-rounded.
Yeah, you've been all over. All right, well, thank you, Tim. I'm really looking forward to this webinar. It's short, it's packed full of great insights, so we're keeping it digestible, which is just what I think everyone likes.
Definitely.
All right, so let's get to it. RealSearch is a true free text search engine. Tell us a little bit about what that means.
So when I'm describing our JAZEL's RealSearch, think Amazon, think Google, even Bing if you want, any search engine. So the ability to type exactly what you're looking for. Don't worry about spelling, it'll spell check for you. Don't worry about, too many phrases, like just literally what are you looking for in the vehicle, options, whatever you want. That's what I think of our RealSearch when I want to describe it is literally Google.
All right, so it's familiar to everyone.
Yes.
And I see that it has voice command integration, which I feel is crucial because I personally use it all the time. Makes life easy for us busy people on the go. So
definitely.
Great. All right.
Now, when it comes to the actual search, what makes ours so unique is we search the entire VDP page. So new, used, whatever it may be, anything you write on that VDP page, your customer can search for. This comes into play extensively on aftermarket stuff, whether it's new or used. If you add to it, they can search it. So definitely big there as well. Another thing we actually want to avoid is 0 results found. So what I tell everyone when I'm explaining it is your website is gospel, right? So if a customer goes on your website, looks for said vehicle, and your website says, no, we don't have any, they're not going to drive down to your dealership to verify you don't have it. That deal's gone, they've moved on. For example, this one here, we're searching for a white Tundra with leather interior and a backup camera. Their search results said, try another search. But when you look at their actual inventory, they have one. It's not white, but it meets every other qualification they could want.
Yeah, and I can see how that would be a problem because this is a very specific search. It's a customer who has an idea of what they're looking for. And although you don't have it in white, I'm sure you don't want this customer to go to your competitor's website or lot for that matter. So another interesting thing is that the search tips are so limiting. They're telling you to double check your spelling and try using single words, which is not helping the customer, especially somebody like this who knows what they're looking for.
Exactly. And results here are what you'll see on a JAZEL RealSearch, which is we don't have a yellow F-150 with running boards and a V8, but I have 126 other vehicles that match that minus the color. So if you're a dealer, what would you want them to see? This right here is going to bring them to your store. We don't have the color, but come look at this. I mean, how many times do people go looking for a vehicle and maybe they get a different color when they get there? We want to bring them to your store. 0 results found does not bring them to your store.
Yeah, and this one I can definitely relate to because I actually went to a lot looking for a specific make and model, and I ended up leaving with a completely different make and model, and I had the car for over 10 years, so it was clearly the right choice and not what I initially had gone for. So
yeah, 100%.
it happens.
Every time.
So this is one of my favorite RealSearch features. So tell us a little bit more about seeing the results as you type.
So this is definitely big. Basically what we're going to do is, rather than trying to hit submit or enter, what our system's going to do is, as you're typing what you're looking for, we're sorting through that dealership's entire inventory and showing them what matches. So no enter, no submit, literally just search and type. So you can see here kind of an example of what we're doing here. We want a red. There we go. A Mustang. First I want a Mustang. So we're going to bring up all the Mustangs. Now I want a red one. You can see there's no enter. It's just going straight to color. I want engine size. I want a V6. There you go. I don't know why you would. And let's get some specific headlights. There we go. So no enter, no submit, searching the entire inventory and showing you what matches your search.
And I like how it's also highlighting it in the description details there.
Autofocus highlights.
There you go. Autofocus highlights. I nerd out on this stuff. This
we
is
will
so cool.
save that for another webinar. But yes, autofocus highlights is another JAZEL product.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing, Tim. So now that we've talked about how cool RealSearch is and how it helps shoppers, we'll show a few highlights of improved engagement metrics on our dealership websites using RealSearch. So we're tracking sessions when RealSearch is used as well as when RealSearch is not used. And when RealSearch is used, we've seen an 83% increase in pages per session, as well as the 143% increase in time on site. And we've talked about mobile and how that voice command integration is very important for busy people on the go. And we all know how mobile is just getting increasingly more used.
Everyone uses mobile now.
Of course, everyone's using mobile. So we pulled out some of those metrics, mobile specific. You can see that we've seen a 101% increase in pages per session on mobile specifically, and 111% increase in time on site for mobile. So what we're just pulling that out to show you that, you know, across devices we're seeing an increase, but on mobile specific it's definitely increased there as well. And these metrics are for the first half of the year 2019. So, and
you know what it means, obviously, if someone's staying on your site longer and looking more pages, they're more likely to buy because they're scrolling through what you have, they're spending time looking at specific vehicles. It all points to more sales or more people coming in.
Yeah, more time on the site, the better. And so now we have our poll question. Now that we've kind of gone through the highlights of RealSearch, think about your shoppers, think about your dealership and your website, and take a second to answer our poll question. How important is having an intuitive search function on your website? So after kind of going through a lot of the RealSearch highlights and functions, and especially the metrics, if you weren't thinking it was that important earlier, I would think that you're probably thinking it's at least something to consider now.
Yeah, hopefully after hearing all that, you can correlate that a intuitive search is definitely, it should be a top priority for your store.
Yeah, and it looks like everyone agrees. We have some that say it's so-so, sort of important, but most say that it's very important. So we're on the same page. All right, so if you have any questions, go ahead and ask them in the Q&A tab. If we're not able to answer all of them, we'll definitely get back to you guys. You'll have our emails at the end of this webinar. But feel free to put some questions in there and we'll answer a couple here. Looks like we have one here, Tim.
Yeah.
Does RealSearch work for used inventory?
100%. I love RealSearch for used inventory because a lot of that used inventory has aftermarket stuff done to it, which means we can search by that as well. So yes.
Yeah, and this goes back to not only what comes through in the inventory feeds, but also the description details.
Exactly.
Anything you want to type in will be able to be searched with RealSearch.
Yep.
Another great question just came in. It says, can you search for vehicles using stock numbers or VINs?
Great question. So this actually rolls into something else that JAZEL's RealSearch is good for. The salesman. So if they're on the lot and customers talking about a specific vehicle, they can pull that vehicle up by stock number and see every option that thing has. So yes, it can, which makes it a super efficient tool for your salespeople as well.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you, Tim, and thank you everyone else for joining us. We hope you enjoyed this webinar. If you have any questions, please reach out to me, bramos@jazele.com, or Tim, tleibel@jazele.com. And remember to check out our next webinar, Inventory Calls to Action. 1, 2, green, blue. I know you like that.
That was
it's
good.
clever. It's clever. All right. So we'll see you September 19th for our next webinar. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot them over. And otherwise, we'll see you next time. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.